All right, guys. What do we want? Second video? Third video?
Federal authorities to do the same. To make a decision and to come forward with a charge of the arresting officer. The question is whether I'm asking federal authorities to do the same.
I don't know why that video cut off, but they were talking to the mayor of Minneapolis was having a press conference, and he was saying how he's trying to get the district attorney to press charges against the officers.
Michelle, to the extent I could give you an answer on that, I would. I do not know. I would like to see that footage released as soon as possible. If we could do so in a way where we could ensure that investigation was not compromised, a charging decision was moved forward with in the very near future, I'd do it right away.
What is his name? Mayor Jacob Frey.
So the question was, withstand scrutiny of who? So the question was whether we can be confident that the Hennepin County attorney can not have a bias in making a decision about this particular case. I think we've seen a very long history in this country of charging decisions being made that did not do justice to the victims,
Oh, really?
When the potential charging decision was against a law enforcement individual, and even more so when that law enforcement officer was white and the victim was black.
Okay. Do we really want to be known as black people? I mean, I think at this point in time, black is a culture. That's our culture, the black culture. But that's not who we are. We're Negroes. We're what was the term used? Somebody wrote a book, Plight of the American Negro. American Negroes. So in this video, he was saying basically the same thing. This is a different video from the first one I just played. He's going to try to seek justice for George Floyd, and he wants there not to be a bias. So for me, the fact that he said he wants there not to be a bias means there's a possibility that either this guy's going to put a monkey wrench in the works because these are fellow police officers or because he's racist. Either way is not good. You can't just let a guy put on a badge, kill a bunch of people, and then say, they were probably criminals, so he had it coming to him. No, not especially when there's video evidence of the crime. So, our next video. Where did I put it? Okay, the next one.
Looted targets at a closed this location earlier last night to try to keep employees
AutoZone,
safe.
Cub Foods, Target, two other places.
At the same intersection where George Floyd was killed.
This is Roland Martin.
Also spread out to try to be socially
distant. Now, officers then showed up in riot gear. Y'all can roll the video, please. Officers showed up in riot gear and started firing tear gas and flash grenades as protesters hurled rocks, water bottles, and anything they could get their hands on towards the officers. Remember yesterday, Nakima Levy-Armstrong, the civil rights attorney with the Racial Justice Network, she was on with us. She could barely hear us because the crowd was so loud. And so she joins us right now along with Leslie, Leslie Redmond, president of the Minneapolis NAACP. Nakima, first and foremost, people are still protesting today, but how long were you out there yesterday? And what precipitated Minneapolis police all of a sudden using tear gas and firing rubber bullets?
I was out there from about 5 p.m. until roughly 8 p.m. And it was a peaceful protest. I mean, thousands of people. It was actually the largest.
Rubber bullets.
Oh, shoot.
I was
My bad.
out from about 5 p.m. until roughly 8 p.m. And it was a peaceful protest. I mean, thousands of people. It was actually the largest protest that I've ever been a part of. And it was amazing to see so many people out wearing their masks, standing up for justice. And the reality is that there were some folks who are, of course, extremely angry and outraged at what George Floyd experienced. And those people stayed around after the
He
protest
experienced
ended.
death.
And some of them broke windows out of the 3rd precinct.
The state country.
Absolutely. I mean, we know that as people of color, particularly Black people, when we are rising up and we are standing up and protesting against police violence, we are going to be subjected to the potential for police abuse and harassment. I saw the same thing in Ferguson. We've had the same types of incidences happen in Minnesota when we've been protesting. So it doesn't come as a surprise that they're going to be fully ready and treat us like we're enemies of the state, even though the whole reason that we're out there is to protest the conduct of state actors. So it's just...
Okay, so that was a clip from Roland Martin interviewing a young lady. He interviewed somebody else too from NAACP, but I wasn't trying to record the whole interview. One more.
The process of this decreasing of all of the internal organs, all the way to cardiac arrest.
This is
I saw videos in the
Officer Tatum.
I dealt with people personally where they were experiencing excited delirium. So this officer, in my personal opinion, should have been thinking about excited delirium when this gentleman was fighting and doing all that crazy stuff and he was potentially using drugs. So bad on the police officer. In my opinion, I don't know what his excuse is. I don't know what they're gonna say at the scene. I'm willing to change my argument if new information come out. But for right now, what it looks like, it don't look good for them. Now let's talk about George Floyd. George Floyd. Now, you shouldn't be resisting arrest. That's all I'm gonna say. Does that mean you deserve to die? Don't make me use bad words. Nobody's saying that anybody deserves to die. Only God has that barometer of choice to say who deserves to die or not. What I'm saying is that behaviors lead to faulty and bad situations.
I don't know why it quit, because so he went on to say that Mr. Floyd, George Floyd, didn't deserve to die. But he feels that he should have never put himself in that situation, basically. Okay. Yeah. He also mentioned it's raining. It is raining. He also mentioned something about being on drugs, and that was brought up in the video too. Somebody said something about he's on drugs. He's I forgot what the other officer said, but it's something about he was coming down off of drugs. My thing is this: if you're a cop, you're trying to detain somebody, they're on drugs. You visibly see they're on drugs. You're not a medical professional. So, wouldn't you call for backup and ask for a medical professional to be on the scene to assist in getting this guy calmed down? You know? Roland Martin showed a different clip from a different angle. I'm like, okay, so where he started and where the altercation took place is not the same. Crap, excuse me. It's not the same. So I'm thinking, I just can't get over it, man. There's no excuse. That is bothering me. Regardless if the man was guilty or not. Oh, well, they said he fit the description. You know how many times people have all over the freaking United States have fit the description? Yeah. Okay. Regardless, it's not even about whether or not he's guilty of the crime they claim he committed. All right, so he committed a crime. You're a police officer. Investigate. Get him handcuffed. Take him into custody. Take him to jail. And let him wait his day in court. That's the way I thought it was supposed to happen. But evidently, the police can do whatever they want to do. So again, what's the point of having judges if the police are going to do everything? They're multitasking. They do the investigation and they do the sentencing right there on the spot. You stole something. You're going in handcuffs. We're taking you to court. But it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Oh, so now you're resisting arrest. I'm not trying to resist arrest. I can't breathe. Can you let me up? No. You're not getting out of this. But I really can't breathe. No. Shut up. If you can't breathe, shut up. You'll have more oxygen that way. At this point, it does not matter if he was guilty of a crime. That's like when people get pulled over on a traffic stop and everybody's speeding and the cop says, you know why I pulled you over? No, you were speeding. But everybody was speeding. Yeah, but I caught you. You could have caught the first car that was speeding, but it would have presented a public safety issue. So, yeah, I get it. You went after the last person you saw. Makes sense. I'm not against that. However, in this situation, that's not the case. This man committed a crime. He should have been apprehended and taken to jail. The other clip that I saw, it's on Roland Martin. If you pull up Roland Martin on YouTube, it should give you the last few videos that he put out. The video that I saw from the vantage point of the store, because it's at a downward angle. From that vantage point, if he was on drugs, those drugs was not making him hyper. Those drugs was making him mellowed out. He was handcuffed, sat down in front of the building, and he started slouching over. So, what I'm saying about that is, let's say he was on drugs. You're a police officer, not a nurse, not a fireman, not a doctor. So you should have called it in that this guy's on drugs and he's looked like he's slouching. You should have called in and told somebody something so they can get an EMT on the scene to give their professional opinion as to whether or not he's on drugs, instead of taking it into your own hands. If he was on drugs. Or maybe he heard so many times about people getting harassed that he just didn't know what was going to happen to him. If he was on drugs, whatever drugs they thought he was on, it didn't make him violent. It didn't make him violent. He didn't stand up. He didn't try to get away from the officers. The altercation came in after they picked him up and took him to another point. They took him across the street. Whatever happened at that point, that's when it escalated. He was thrown to the ground. Now remember, if you look at the video, the one from Roland Martin, clearly he's already in handcuffs. If there's 2 or 3 officers there, get him into the vehicle and take him to the station. So I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem. That man didn't have to die. Whatever crime he committed, it wasn't worth his life. So then the next video, you got onlookers telling him, get your knee off of him. Get your knee off of him. He said he can't breathe. There are people in the streets that are looking dead at this cop with his knee on this guy. So whatever drugs that he was on, you're not gonna force the drugs out of his system by putting your knee on his neck. Well, he was breathing, he was talking. Okay, yeah, but he don't know when he gonna take his last breath. He's talking, he's articulating that he's in trouble. He can't hardly breathe. You know how many people with asthma will tell you, I need help, I'm having trouble breathing, somebody grab my inhaler? So what does that mean? Oh, well, he was breathing, he was talking, so he was probably just faking. No, that's not what that means. That's not what that means. The man, and some people actually have a panic attack. Rightfully so. If you have if you're experiencing a lack of oxygen, you could have a panic attack. That's not my medical presumption. That's just common sense. Just common sense. You could quite possibly have a panic attack and make your situation worse. But aside from all that, take all that out of the equation. The man was already in handcuffs. He was down on the ground. There were two officers there. One was standing up in front of the crowd that was gathering, and the other one was was kneeling on top of this guy with his knee in the guy's neck. Common sense. If you obstruct a person's air passage, they're going to lose oxygen to the brain. Once they lose oxygen to the brain, it's only a matter of time. One or two things are going to happen. If you got to get them air, get them breathing regularly again so that they don't die, or you keep putting pressure on them so they can't get oxygen and then they end up dying. Some people say, well, he died at the hospital. No, they pronounced him dead. Officially, they pronounced him dead at the hospital. But he was already expired when they came and got him. If you look at the video and you look how they just flipped him over like he was a pancake or something, that was uncalled for. That was uncalled for. If you thought he was on drugs, why did you call a EMT to give their expert opinion? And regardless of that, drugs or no drugs, why would you just sit there on this man's neck until another officer comes along and tells you, hey, buddy, come on, get off his neck, get off his neck. 9 minutes? 9 minutes. I watch a lot of preaching albums. I like those guys. I don't always agree with them, but hey, we just have to agree to disagree. But they made a lot of good points on this situation. And I feel like he shouldn't have died. That man should not have died. Not that way. There was no excuse for this cop to have his knee on this man's. Even if you really thought he was going to jump up and run off, take your knee off of his neck. Put it on his shoulder. Put it in his back. But at least let the man breathe. Call for backup. I was in fear for my life. So that's why you shot him. Okay. So what was the point of staying on his neck like that? And the cop was looking down at him the whole time. I don't care if you're a cop, a judge, or whatever you are. If you look at that video, clearly you can see that the whole time this cop has his freaking knee on this man's neck, he's looking down at him. He is looking directly at George. So, if I grab you by the neck and I'm choking you, literally choking the life out of you, I'm looking dead at you, I can tell almost to the second when you are getting ready to lose consciousness, when you are getting ready to die, because I am so full of anger and rage that I'm not going to stop until you're dead. That cop killed that man. End of story. He needs to go to jail. Point blank, period. As far as the system that let these little ignorant people put on a badge, the system needs to be changed. The Constitution of the United States supposedly guarantees you the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. He can't pursue happiness because he can't pursue happiness because he's dead. Somebody took his life, and we don't even know what the crime he committed was. Clearly, it wasn't life-threatening. And even if it was, he didn't kill anybody. Otherwise, it would have been on a 911 call. I don't know, man. The guy's dead. That's a tragedy. But what's more of a tragedy is that cop is not in jail. All right, I'm going to end with this. If it was anybody else that was suspected of murder, they would put you in jail until you can wait for your trial or some type of preliminary investigation. So why is it that when a cop kills somebody, oh, well, we fired him? No, put his ass in jail and make him wait his turn like everybody else. Stop covering for these fuckers. I'm so pissed. That man needs to be in jail. Point blank, period. No. He needs to just be in jail. Point blank, period. As far as the system, we all need to band together and take our fight to the government. Like I said in my other two videos, all throughout history since the end of slavery, the government has always known about black people being mistreated. And if it's not in their interest to help us, they will not help us. They let a few of us get out of the hole, but only on the condition that we don't go back and help the rest of our people. There are a lot of black influential people who could get in the ears of these politicians, but if they think it's gonna hurt their money, they ain't trying to help us. But boy, when they want to make some money, put a concert or something together, oh, they all for us. Be safe. Stay strong. And let's fight this fight in a different manner. Let's not get out here in the street acting like ignorant people. But like I said, we need to start holding the government, the local government, the state government, and the federal government. They need to all be put on notice that black folks not taking this shit no more. Negroes have a right to be in this country just like anybody else, and we want fair representation. When stuff like this happens, we should have people in government that are gonna stand up for our rights. That's all it is to it. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll conversate later.